Hi, and welcome once again to the video production blog for the entry that we're putting into the Ottawa International Film Festival 72-hour competition. Right now, it's about 3:15 in the morning on Friday the 13th, and as you can hear, the irony train is boarding at the station. I'm already losing my voice again. I'm having like a really bad scratchy throat and things are starting to feel really tight. I think part of that has to do with going in and out of the what has become the extreme cold and wind chill, as well as standing in a room with about 150 other people who may be in similar states of not feeling especially well, which happened last night when we were at the Lieutenant's Pump. In order to get this. This is a list of the OIFF 72 Film Challenge wildcards, and I'm going to go over them with you. I'd originally planned to do 2 Thoughts from My Car podcasts, both right before and right after getting this list, just to kind of keep things going. But I figured this video production blog would be a little bit cleaner, a little bit more not quite sure what probably I really wish I remembered words at this point, but as I said, it's 3:15 in the morning, so you'll have to bear with me. I apologize if I'm not completely and totally, utterly together for all this. But we're going to go over the rules. These are the rules of the competition that all of the finished films must adhere to if they're going to qualify for the ultimate sort of kind of moral victory prize, at least in my case, which is to be showcased at the Horticulture Center at Lansdowne Park on February 27th. In order to do that, you have to meet all of these sort of criteria that were handed out. So I'm going to go over it. Films must be between 3 and 15 minutes in length, including credits. They must be family friendly if they want to qualify for a potential national broadcast, which would be really cool. I'd really like to make my way in on that. Films must incorporate an interpretation of the OIFF 72 theme, Running Down Bank. Bank Street being, of course, one of the main streets in the city of Ottawa. It is apparently the year of sport in Canada this year for 2015, so we're going to try and tie sports with Bank Street. That's our big thing. There's also a specific line of dialogue that must be included. I'm not going to go into that. It has to incorporate the number 6 because it's the 6th annual festival or 6th annual competition. There are a couple of props that are mandatory that must be put into the finished film, as well as a selection of music. Now, there are some music tracks that have been provided by some local artists for use in the film, as long as they're credited according to the specifications that are on this sheet. And you have to use 3 of the songs. There's 10 of them that are provided. You have to use a minimum of 3, and each song needs a minimum of 10 seconds, which I'm sure it will be timed. And of course, there's other things like special slides that have to be like a couple of frames that have to be put in order to thank our sponsors for the competition. So that is basically where we stand now. Is we have our wild cards and we're busy working on our story. And one of the challenges is that once you get a story idea, you kind of have a preconceived notion of how it's going to go and what it is, the elements that you want in that story. And then you get a wild card and it kind of throws a wrench into the plan. So we have to find a way to get around that. And that's where we're at now. We are getting... we are starting to get some ideas that are coalescing. We should have a rough script in the next, I would say, hour or so. which would be good because that would bring us to about 5 in the morning, around about the time where we kind of start getting ready for Xavier to wake up. Because even though I've taken 3-4 days off of work that I booked in order to be able to participate in this competition, not have to worry about going to the regular office gig, I am, still a parent, and I still have to take care of my responsibilities as a parent, which include caring for my son. Krista's going to be at work today. So yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun little competition. So I've already put out a couple of feelers about getting a couple of specific lines of dialogue recorded by friends of mine who I think would be most, not adept, but definitely would have the biggest impact in terms of their delivery of this kind of a line. In the meantime, we're just getting together the rough story idea. Once I have the outline, then we can kind of get into an actual story that we want to tell. And then we're going to put in those wildcard elements. I'm not going to try and build a story around the wildcards. It's not really going to work. It's not going to turn into a cohesive story. I'd rather have a good story and then work the elements in afterward. So that's pretty much what we have for now. By the time we speak next, we'll probably be getting into the actual production elements of the feature itself. We'll probably be into the recording of the dialogue. Hopefully. If not, we may be in a little bit of trouble. Maybe not trouble, but maybe a little bit of a time for concern. In either case, we're going to give the voice a rest, and we're going to let the fingers do the tapping as we get together all of our story ideas. So that's where we're going to leave it now. And until next time.